Welcome to the Dish Pit Podcast, everyone. This is Jay Fandango, your host. This is episode 57 of the Dish Pit Podcast. Go.
We are here with your co-host, Mikey Miguel.
And he's going to throw it on over here to your other co-host, The Crow.
Fucking hands hurt from clapping.
Yo soy el padre chocolate.
Sorry, can you put some subtitles on him?
He
Chocolate
said,
Daddy at the service.
he said it in the right declination, too. It was beautiful.
Michael would know.
I would.
He's the master of Spanish.
I was trying to go for that whole telenovela.
Oh, don't
Feel,
get me started.
El padre
You want
chocolate.
You want people to think
You know?
Very smooth in the beginning.
he
That's
wants
how they
people
know.
to think he's cultured.
Mm-hmm.
All they need is a saxophone playing in the background while you're saying that.
Some George Michaels.
Oh, like Fernando from Vice City. Yeah, I remember Fernando from Vice City. He was one of the DJs for the radio station.
Oh, yeah.
People come to me, they ask me, Fernando, why are you so confident? And it's just that kind of voice. And it's always like, he's the man. He's the shit. He gets all the ladies, all the bitches.
Isn't that the gay dude you have to chase down on the moped?
I don't. What GTA are you talking about? I'm talking about Vice City.
That's what I was talking about. Vice City.
There's so
I
many gay
don't-
dudes you chase down on mopeds in Grand Theft
I don't
Auto, bro.
remember. Honestly, there are a couple. And I don't know if it's like so many. The only gay dude I know in GTA is Gay Tony.
From San Andreas?
I don't know what game he's from. I know there was a game that they like a DLC called the Ballad of Gay Tony.
Well, you remember it? Like I remember in San Andreas. You know the South Park episode where they did the Big Gay Al, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
He's a character in San Andreas. I do believe.
Big Gay
like,
Al?
Yeah.
No, he's not.
Yeah.
No.
Not like
It's
Big Gay
It's
Al,
an
but
expansion for GTA 4, I think. Yeah. Wait, hold on.
I think he looks just like Big Gay Al.
Yeah. And I don't think that's true, Michael.
Oh, come on. It's got to be true.
No, I don't think Big Gay Al was in GTA.
But he was not like him, like from South Park, but like he looked like him and he sounded like him and
He's just a big flamboyant gay guy.
big flamboyant gay Hispanic dude.
I'm sorry.
I don't
Michael,
think
call
Big
bullshit.
Gay Al was Hispanic. I think he just had a tan.
No, his name was Albert. Alberto. I don't know.
Was Mr. Slade Hispanic too?
Possibly.
His name is Al Di Napoli.
Oh, that's Italian.
Yeah, he was in Ballad of Gay Tony.
Italian
Now
guy
we
pretty
know.
gay.
I was half right.
Italians are what? Where do you get that from? Italians are gay?
Sorry for all the Italian. Yeah, like Scarface is gay.
And the most anti-gay.
The Godfather is gay.
Yeah,
Never
bro.
seen Sopranos.
Goodfellas.
Oh wait, they're Sicilians. They're not Italian.
Oh, where's Sicily at?
It's the little island on the boot.
I don't know,
So it's
bro.
basically Italy.
Have you
Yeah.
ever seen Shall We Dance?
No.
Stanley Tucci is like
No.
a ballroom dancer. Like-
Anything about dancing I probably haven't seen.
If there's dance in the title, probably haven't seen it.
Well, I grew up with sisters.
I did not. I have sisters I didn't grow up with.
So
them,
you've
though.
never seen Dirty Dancing?
Nope.
I have,
Nope, I have not seen Dirty Dancing.
but I was a kid.
I mean, yeah, it was a great movie.
Saw Roadhouse 2. I saw Footloose.
Roadhouse.
Footloose was a trick though, because there's no dance in the title. I thought Footloose was probably like a ninja movie or some
No,
shit.
Footloose
you know?
is
Like,
definitely a dancing
those
phrase.
feet are
All about dancing.
those feet are getting loose, cracking fucking people's skulls and stuff. You
He's
know?
like, I
And
saw Happy Feet. I just didn't know it was a dance movie.
Oh, I did see Happy Feet. I did see that movie. And if you count the High School Musical
That's-
movies as
yeah.
dancing,
I've never seen
Yeah.
not one
I
of
saw them
those.
Me
just
neither.
because they were on like Disney Channel when I was younger.
Again, I have sisters. So
I was living with my girl cousins at the time, so that's another reason. I didn't enjoy the movies.
I went outside and played with boy stuff.
I never saw one of those. What's the one where it's like has come get it or come bring it or
Bring it on.
bring it
Bring It
on,
On.
bring it
Yeah.
Those are
on.
great.
Yeah,
No, it's not.
those are great. You have to shut the fuck up.
Terrible movies.
Those are great movies.
Bring It
be
On
good.
technically is not a dance
You
movie.
probably like what's the
Cheerleading's a
fucking name
form
the
of
movie?
dance, right?
Is it?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's an
Oh.
art,
it's choreography.
choreography.
Okay. Fair enough.
It's like cheerleading is like the horrors of the dance team for high school.
Do you think they have like nay classes out there?
I'm sure.
Whip and nay classes?
They have to.
Or maybe it's like a class where you learn all of those, like whip, nay, Dougie, all those fucking
folks.
Fortnite dance class.
It's probably in like a contemporary dance class because now contemporary is like all that shit.
I'd be pissed off if I joined a dance class and they're like, all right, well, today we're going to learn how to nay.
Watch him whip
Sir?
first. There, now it's time to nay.
Make sure you focus on the whip because you can't nay until you whip.
Who thought of that name, just like nay?
Blame
mean-
Soulja Boy.
Yeah.
It actually does kind of make sense if you think about it. Like, but you have to really try to draw the dots. You know, the lines.
If you look at it
between
sideways and squint your eyes, maybe.
I mean, I think it derived from like Nene got always something to say, you know what I'm saying? Like always got her finger in the air trying to tell you off, like, and then it just kind of turned into like.
Wait, so have you met a real Nene in your life that was
I
like
know
that?
somebody. I used to call her Nene. Like,
Is her name
There
really
you go.
Nene, though?
Her name was Shanae, and we called her Nene.
Well, that's a nickname.
In there.
But
though.
notoriously, dance songs are always telling you to do some dance that you've never heard of, and you wonder, what the hell is the Charlie Brown? Or what the hell is the monkey on the stick? Or do to get some? Or
But
what-
when you actually see the dance
Yeah.
move, it makes sense. Like
So
it does make sense.
The nene
Yeah.
is, you know, the hand thing. But there's another.
Like, if you were
do
to just
the
tell me-
sissy boot.
What about
remember that?
Like,
I don't know.
what's sissy boo?
The Charlie Brown sounds inherently a racist dance move to
It's,
me.
it's basically the butterfly.
What? Okay, so you have the Dougie, and there was another dance I remember.
The Dougie, the Woe, the Flex. There's so many different types of dances.
I was all about Snoop and the Sea Walk.
Man, I'm gonna be real. That was the last dance I actually got
That was
into.
the last
was
dance
the
that
sea
I-
walk.
the sea walk. That was
and
it.
that been gone. Like,
So gone, bro. Snoop. That
Yeah,
ended
bro.
there.
early 2020. Like, yeah, that was a long time
A
ago.
long time ago.
Good times.
Good
They're
time.
over.
Yeah.
It's like the same thing with the whole lighter flick Q Wheezy song, you know? It's like you miss those. You don't hear those tracks anymore.
Or like when Wiz smokes, like he lights his joint before he does a song.
Correct.
If it wasn't for Wayne, that wouldn't be.
I feel like someone would have done it eventually.
But like,
He did it on purpose. I think the other guys just did it like, oh
Yeah.
shit, the mic's on right now.
think about this.
Keep that in. That sounds cool.
And this is cool. I'm not. This is no hate on Wiz Khalifa. I'm a huge fan.
Yeah.
At some point, if you can only make music about one thing, wouldn't you think something you never thought of was cool? At this point, Lil Wayne has been notoriously before every song.
Yeah.
And you know when you hear the lighter, he's about to go in.
It was about to go off.
He flicked the lighter. So for a stoner that has listened to Wayne, when you hear it, you're like, yeah, this is like an homage. This is like paying respects. You couldn't have thought of that.
See, it would be good nowadays
I didn't
to hear
say.
that.
I mean, what you mean to say that no one else in this reality could think to light a lighter as an ad lib before their song?
Yeah, I don't think anyone was thinking this is gonna sound great when this song is done.
A lot of rappers do the whole thing where they smoke before the track.
I get that.
They'll have the little.
I'm guilty.
But he made it his like signature.
I get
Yeah,
that. Yeah, I get
yeah.
that.
like
I don't think Wiz does it in every song either. I think it's just
no,
a
like
big
I
chunk
can
of
tell
them.
you a few Dr. Dre songs, and usually the track is starting with like a voicing before it, where like, and then they talk, and then it leads into the song. You know, I can remember that happening a lot, but it wasn't like his thing, it like his signature move, like with Lil Wayne, like lighter flick.
It was after Remix Wheezy or Wheezy F Baby. It was all lighter flip before the verse. Too cold.
Hey, that's branding, bro. That's marketing at its finest. Like he knew where to like, hey, this is where I'm getting my sound out. People are gonna recognize.
I want to
me.
know what happened to this man, that man's throat though, like, to make him sound like that. Oh, lots of smoking. I think lots
You
of
talking about Weezy?
Yes, like if you ever hear him just talk normally, you're like,
Super raspy.
I'm like
super.
if you have headphones on, you'll think there's some like interference or something. Like this guy's voice, it's
I
cool.
thought
It's a
that
cool
too.
voice, but I'm like, Jesus, how do you get it that way?
I was listening to, it was a long time ago, but it was like him doing an interview on, you know, like with Charlemagne the God and all them, and it was just like, if I was the producer at that radio station, I must have been flipping out because there's no way you could take the gain off of him without not hearing him. And like you said, is like his voice sounded like it made your headphones buzz.
when I first started listening to him, I did not like Lil Wayne. I thought I did not like his voice.
Agreed.
Me too. I didn't like
When I
the
was
change where rap was going either.
It wasn't until Fireman dropped. When Fireman came out, I was in like late middle school, early high school.
Yeah, you're
like,
right.
and that
I
was
was
the
in high
jam. Like, yeah.
I was in high school when Fireman dropped.
I'm 500 degrees.
Blake, what's that
Shocked.
one song y'all like by Lil Wayne? I can't remember. Just name a song you like by him. I mean, that's a good one. I think I had liked him before that song came out, though. I can't remember the first song that actually got me into him.
Because Block is Hot was out, it was jamming, but it wasn't like, oh yeah, I'm gonna listen to that Block is Hot. It wasn't until 500 degrees dropped out. I was like,
That was a good one.
But I used to not like Lil Wayne.
Yeah, bro, when he
grew
would
on me
come
for sure.
on, I would turn the station, switch
Yeah.
the channel, walk out the room like I didn't like him.
By the time he started dropping
You
the
turn the
Carters,
you
everyone-
turn the station and walk out the room. That's crazy.
Okay,
Bro,
name
that's
one
some
Lil Wayne song you
dedication.
didn't like that definitely grew on you then.
None.
Mine was Lollipop.
I was
Oh wait,
literally about to
the
say
one
Lollipop.
where he does that like rock kind of thing.
Like a lollipop.
I actually kind of liked that song.
But at first, it was like, come on, man. Like,
Yeah.
This is a remix. Eh?
You know, to be honest with you, I think it was because I didn't want to accept anybody else's beats behind them besides Aftermath or Dre, like or Aftermath Productions. Like it was like all those, even though they all sounded like kind of inherently the same, but it was just like that's. And then Lil Jon came out, and it was like, okay, you have Lil Jon, and you have Aftermath Productions. And then Lil Wayne just like exploded on top of all those.
Bro, it was my bad but it was around like 99 that Cash Money like really started taking off.
But the music industry changed around that time too.
Yeah.
It was right around then. Ringtones came out. You know what I mean?
That's true.
Like
I didn't even think about the ringtones.
everyone
used to
wasn't
take,
doing
like,
that. You know, making
Shit,
their own
my fucking
songs.
mic.
People were taking beats, and it was like once you took somebody else's beat, this can't be a produced song by somebody official because you won't be able to make your money off of it. They were making money off of mixtapes, music they couldn't really release through their bro.
Yeah.
Music was completely different then.
Yeah, it was.
Now, if you got a link in your bio,
Well,
a
because
backpack and SoundCloud,
used to be because it was all record
Spotify.
label.
Yeah.
Like once the labels dropped their status, and everybody started streaming, then it opened the door to everyone. Like
Yeah.
you didn't have to be known or signed. You can come up, and then the label now is just supporting your streaming. They're not giving you a bunch of money to make a record.
think about what we've missed from music because there's no universal talent, standard to say, hey, I know Universal passed on it, but listening to it myself, this is great. Everyone's just like, nah,
But
I
fuck
got the link in
Universal.
my bio, I got the SoundCloud, and this song is fire.
Well, that's because everything was divided up already between like each record label, so they were all fighting against each other. And then when the market fell out from underneath them, and it was like, we have no power now. We can't sign anybody and tell them, hey, we're gonna maybe back you or not, depending on if the people like you. Then they didn't know what to do, so then they're just like fighting over each other, and that was detrimental to like the hip hop industry and the rock and roll industry. Like you can listen to like interviews with like Dave Grohl, like he would literally, and Chris Cornell, R.I.P. He would literally say like he was the last of the generation for record labels because he couldn't imagine competing to like being on stage and making music without the endorsement of a major corporation. It just didn't. He couldn't fathom it. He can do it now because he has all the money he wants and produces all the stuff he wants to do. But like that's why you get so many one-hit wonders now.
Well, man,
Honestly, I want you to finish that thought, but I feel like another reason for that is the rise of internet talent.
That's it. Like
Like
YouTube.
Yeah,
Yeah.
YouTube, Spotify, even Instagram, Facebook, all of these things. People make careers like Mark Ribier. He got big off of YouTube.
Love that guy.
Now he's like doing concerts and he has
In his underwear.
millions of streams on Spotify.
Same thing happened
iTunes
with
probably.
Soulja Boy, fucking Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
Like,
Justin
Justin
Bieber.
Bieber did get famous off YouTube. Usher found him on YouTube.
Yeah.
okay, I'm gonna draw a line right there. There's internet talent, and then there's actual talent.
Well, you don't think they're talented?
Whoa, I wouldn't go that far.
But that's what we were. I feel like that's where it started. We were talking about internet talent.
Yeah.
I don't feel like Justin Bieber's an internet talent as much as Soulja Boy would have been.
No,
They were
Justin
both-
Bieber's.
But they're both quality artists that have given us.
I don't think there's a
Their fair
difference
share.
between. I think it's just about exposure. Now it's easier for
Yes.
someone who actually does have talent to get that exposure from whether it be a company that wants to sponsor them or someone that wants to book them for a show, instead of now like back in the day it was millions of people who are talented but they're just doing shitty dive bars or whatever, and they don't have a platform to advertise. Now you can basically just be an entrepreneur, no problem.
Yeah, you can go and do the dive bars and then still put your music out there on the internet. Because, like, here's the difference between today and 15, 20 years ago. It was all about selling units then. You get on a contract, you impress some fucking white dudes sitting in an office somewhere, and then you sell units, and then you're fucking famous, and they'll keep backing you up. Now it's about views
Yeah, those
and
numbers
listens.
are completely different. Now.
Completely different. If you can just be on YouTube and get 2 million
Not
views,
even a couple 100,000
couple
will be enough.
100,000 views, you're gonna start peaking some eyebrows and having people like, hey, I'll sign you on to a show. I'll back you. Let's put you in a concert. Let's have you open up for so-and-so.
Yeah.
Whatever your genre is.
And then there's other internet artists that you can collab with. You could say you're an internet musician, right? And you can start to collab with these other internet musicians, and then that's even more money, right? Like that.
Well, yeah.
You start stacking
The
on top
more
of
audiences you're
And then you combine your
divided to,
audience
the more
with their
money.
audience.
Absolutely.
That's
what
the
happens.
overflow, right? Of course, you're gonna have some of the same fans, but there's those new fans that they didn't know about you before.
That's
Imagine-
the power of a feature.
Imagine what music's going to be about, like, in 10 years from now.
I assume it's still gonna be about bitches.
Man,
It's gonna be derivative though.
I
Do you
feel like
really
it
think so?
already kind of is derivative though. Like it's definitely
Mainstream
if it's
music
not
is.
there, it's already getting there.
It's
Like,
getting there for sure.
bro. Like
I remember love songs. Remember love ballads?
The R&B? Where's R&B's dead, bro?
Hey man, let's not forget there are still people out there making good music.
That is true.
right, but think
I'm
about
not looking over them.
You have
There,
to
no, here's the thing. It's oversaturation. There is way more music now than there was back then, and there's a lot of more garbage, right? Like I said, there's people with talent that are getting famous. There are also people that aren't that good getting famous
There's
too.
a lot of whack rappers out there.
making music that panders a lot to certain audiences, like the SoundCloud, genre. I do think there are some good rappers out there that fall into that genre, but most of them are just saying the same shit.
That's the point I was gonna make right before you said that, and it's twofold. It's so much harder now to you have to find good music, and if you find that artist and you're like, this person's popping, this is like good, and then you can spread around. Hopefully, it goes viral enough for them to like get some traction with it. Whereas back in the day, you were force fed what the good music was. You didn't have a choice. This is the only thing out there. This is the only thing they're producing.
We're not playing that. That's not hot.
You don't have
They
to
don't
find
want
music on the radio anymore.
Yeah.
We have Spotify, SoundCloud, iTunes, there's YouTube now, and with these algorithms that are created for these social media platforms, it's easier to find music that you like. Like, say you play a song and you're like, ooh, I like that song, and you play it a bunch, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then they're going to start recommending you other songs either from that group or from similar artists, and that's how you keep finding more and more music.
isn't that like the foundation of Pandora? Right now?
Yeah, that's exactly. Except Pandora kind of, I think, I
They
feel like
went-
I had Pandora for so long at one point that it stopped like playing new music and just kept playing the same old music over and over
I'm
again.
with you on that. It's like, because on my Pandora, I had it when it first came out on computer, and I always,
me too. Mm-hmm.
And I always would, I still to this day, if I do listen to Pandora, I would always like or unlike any song.
Exactly.
And
So if
now
there's a
it's-
song you don't want to hear, they won't play it again.
They won't
They
play it
won't
again,
play it.
and they won't play it connected to another genre type of that song. So now it seems like if I go to my favorite radio channel, all I'm getting is all the songs I've ever liked.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's like ridiculous. It's like 890 some songs
Yeah.
that I've liked. And so for me to like listen to it long enough to get a new song in that genre takes forever.
You're not
Like,
finding
you're
anything
not-
new.
not
That's why I
finding
like
anything new.
YouTube. And I have YouTube Premium, so I don't have like any ads or anything. So that's why when I'm listening to music, when I'll play music while we're just bullshitting, it'll keep playing music and not like there's no ads or anything. So, and then oftentimes it'll play the same, bunch of songs that you've been listening to for the past couple weeks.
Which
but
is
then
good.
eventually you start to run out of those songs, and it doesn't replay them. It'll play new songs that you haven't heard before. But 9 times out of 10, you like these songs because it's a similar genre, similar groups. Not always will you like them, right?
No,
but it's
no.
like it's a lot easier to narrow down the music, and that's why
That makes sense.
I've been listening to a lot more. That's what I was saying. I don't listen to the radio, so I won't listen to a lot of groups, like bands or something like that. I listen to a lot of independent artists who make their music electronically. They don't have like, a full band. It's just like one dude making the shit on his computer or whatever. That's like my favorite genre of music now, is just like chill, like instrumental, like ambient music or something like that, like Nujabes. Nujabes is one of my favorite artists, and R.I.P. Nujabes. But it's not just one genre. He has like, there's so many different. You can hear like one fucking. It sounds like you're in a Japanese club or something, and then there's like a hip hop song and all the. It's really cool, and they mash up the Japanese with the hip hop really well. And that's why I like Japanese music in that sense, because they really, in Japan, they're about hip hop. They love that shit.
Yeah. I actually love band, like, so I'm an old school guy, but I love things like that where it's like you hear all this sound and the lyrics, and it's played by 2 people, like one dude with a bass and another guy like on a keyboard synthesizing like guitars and stuff in vocals,
yeah.
and they make their own drums. Like that actually heralds back to the original advent of bands and music, because during the time of Elvis, it was just, and that's just his time, not using Elvis as the moniker or anything, but everything was big band. So you had a singer, and then you had a full band behind them, right? And they had saxophones and guitars and everything. And then Buddy Holly came out with a 3-man band. It was him on guitar, a guy on bass, and a dude on drums. And they played the sound whatever they recorded in the studio, and then that's what they played for the people, and it was great songs. And that's the advent of the modern band, because before that it was like you had to have a whole fucking orchestra,
trumpets,
you had to have all that shit behind you,
Unless you're Dion and the Heartbreakers.
unless you're Dion and the Heartbreakers. But no, and this is not including anything from Motown, because Motown, they were a lot of acapella stuff too. Like they could just sing it, and you didn't need those fucking people behind you. They were leading that drive. But
Shit, I love that kind of music too.
that kind of music is so awesome, and the fact that it still exists to this day is a testament to how great. Like same thing with jazz. The reason why that jazz still exists
Love jazz.
as like a major musical feature. It's like you have classical, you have R&B, you have jazz. The fact that it still exists to the day is a testament on how unique and awesome it is. Like, as a studier of music too, like knowing different, chords and progressions, and like the flat 9, when the flat 9 became contemporary in 1953, like that's an actual chord arpeggiatic progression. It revolutionized jazz. It allowed the ad-libbing of jazz, where you can have the actual blues background and then somebody just playing an instrument, like how they feel like it should sound. And
You
like
said it's music you can feel.
it's
bro.
never the same every time. Like
Right.
you hear
It's
the
just how you feel, right?
Yeah, you hear the record. They have a recording of it, but then when you go see it live, it's totally different ad lib, and you're just listening to it and experiencing it as they're experiencing, playing it to you. That's the greatest thing about jazz to me. And a lot of people are like, "Oh, it's the sound and it's dissonance." Like, you're not looking at it the right way. You're not experiencing the music. And the fact that it was taken from, it literally started from nothing. Started from people just playing in taverns and stuff in like New Orleans.
Jazz, blues, rock
Blues.
and roll. That's where
I used
we're
to-
going from, bro.
I used to want to learn to play the saxophone. I couldn't afford one.
My greatest,
Which one?
A saxophone?
Which one though?
there's 4.
I
Yeah.
know, but
You have soprano sax, which is like
I don't know. I never got past that point because I was like, well, they're all
So
expensive.
the alto.
alto sax is most
The
popular.
alto sax is the It's the
I think that was probably the one.
It's like the one that you play like this.
I don't
The
remember.
the
the
smaller
same
one?
one in the George Michael song.
No,
Yeah.
I think I was gonna get the bigger one.
That's a baritone sax.
Not the biggest one.
Yeah,
like
the
the one
That's
that's
the
just
bass
like,
sax. But the baritone sax is badass. Like There was dudes in band when they was like, I play bari sax. I'm like, oh, Mr. fucking badass over here. Like, oh, I play bari sax.
Yeah, I wanted to do that, but instruments were so expensive. Once I got out of middle school, they stopped paying for your instruments, so I stopped playing in band. I'm like, I just can't afford the shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you had to
I was
rent
gonna
them.
be a drum major, but oh well.
Damn.
Oh well.
I was drum major.
That's what happens when you grow up poor.
I was in choir. I was a choir boy.
You were choir?
I didn't like choir. Do y'all remember when they made you play the recorders?
Oh, yeah.
That was so fucking irritating.
That was in elementary school.
They could at least make those things sound better.
Hey, you know what the major sound in the background of The Mandalorian is?
It's not a recorder.
No,
but it is like it's like a plastic.
No, not the initial, not the
little flute.
in the background.
What?
If you listen in the background, there's a bunch of dissonance going on, and it sounds like flutes, like
Oh yeah.
Those are recorders
Really?
in the background, not the main.
But they don't just use like flat recorder sound. They probably modify it a little bit.
No, they have fucking 6 of them.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. All playing in harmony.
Vibing off of each other.
God.
Damn it, my microphone's fucking.
That's the sound it just made.
Yeah, but yeah, like I remember playing the recorders, and I did not get that shit in elementary.
Do y'all remember y'all's music
Sorry.
teachers?
Yep.
What am I, Willy Wonka?
I had
In
Mr.
elementary-
Rushing.
In which grade?
Yeah, right?
So
In which grade?
you remember that.
Bro,
Yeah, which grade are you
yes.
Yeah,
talking
it was
about?
elementary probably, right?
Well,
Her
no.
name
Wait, what
was
are you talking
Miss
about?
Hicks. She had these long Jackie Joyner Kersey fingernails.
No,
They were
she
this-
didn't.
They were this long, and every week they would be a different color, bro. Always had the bun tight, bro. Like she was Miss Hicks. She was dope.
What was the question?
Do you remember your music teacher?
Jesus, Michael.
I know. I just keep fucking with it.
Music teacher. I remember he was I don't remember his name, but I do remember he. Do y'all remember the handicap guy from Scary Movie 1? No, the handicap guy.
My germs.
The guy in the
That's
wheelchair.
Scary Movie 2.
David Cross.
David Cross.
He kind of
Well,
looked like
same
David
guy.
Cross, with the bald on the back right here, and he had glasses. But he was pretty
I
chill
remember.
because I would just because I was the bass drum for the longest time,
Nice.
so I didn't have a lot to play.
No.
I would just come in every now, every now and then.
You were that big bass drum.
Yeah, I did the big bass drum.
Yeah.
So I didn't play a lot, so I would just read manga in band class, and he'd always get on my ass. I remember reading the entire series of Dragon Ball Z in band class, just like one week or something.
Jesus.
Just like going through it, and shit. What do you want me to do? What am I gonna practice? I have 6 notes in this song. I remember them. It's not hard. Can I get a different instrument, please?
If you would have just stuck it out.
I was new, huh?
If you would have just stuck it out to high school, then you would have been put on the drum line.
I know, but once again, I couldn't afford to pay the fees for band.
No, but see, if you're on the drum line, they just give you the drum.
What?
Yeah. Because they want you to fucking learn it.
But
'Cause
I'm
you
pretty
have to
sure
learn it
they
for marching
do
band.
charge you band fees, and
Well, yeah, they do charge band fees, but it has nothing to do with the instrument rental. Like, if you played, like, a clarinet and had to rent it from there, then they would charge you. But the percussion was the only section they're like, oh, you play bass drum? We're going to have you learn second bass. You're on that drum. Take that motherfucker home. We don't care. They only have one of them, so it's not like they have a bunch. So they need you to learn it. Like, I learned that whenever I got into high
instead
school.
of doing that, just tilt this up. Is it because it's drooping? Stop grabbing it there.
No, it's not me grabbing it. It's the whole... This cord itself. It's not
okay.
stuck in there.
This chord, which chord?
Music teacher.
Yeah, bro. She was. Her name was Miss Hicks.
But that was the
he
only
talked
one?
about her already.
Oh no, I remember my music. All right,
I'm
so
sure I had more than one, but
when
I don't remember that shit.
when I started choir,
Yeah.
I was in elementary school,
Wow.
3rd grade.
Wow, they had choir in your elementary?
Actually, technically, I started. Yeah, they had choir. Man.
Yeah.
No
but
shit.
I started singing when I was like 3.
Good for
in
you,
like
bro.
my church choir.
But what
Wow.
happened?
And then I went to elementary school, Miss Hicks. I don't remember her name, but it was this chunky old white lady that was man, what was her name? And for middle school, I don't remember her name, but I remember her. And then there was Mr. Houston.
And there was Mr. Houston.
Mr. Houston was in high school.
Yeah.
And he was this really sweet, highly effeminate
Wow.
guy. Like, he was a nice guy. You
Yeah.
know, like, he was just really, really, really gay.
Did you do choir all throughout high school?
No. All right. So I got to a point. I was 15.
Uh-huh.
I was in sophomore year. I had my voice got really hoarse because
It started dropping.
All right. So I was doing choir and theater.
Oh.
I was in varsity choir, varsity theater.
Really?
Yeah. And
Lesbian over here.
And I was trying to do both. My voice got really hoarse. At this point, I was like a baritone 1. Like a
Nice.
After my voice stopped being hoarse, I was a bass 2. And like I didn't have the same range.
No. And bass is so low. So you couldn't bottom out where they needed you to, huh?
My problem was I really liked my voice in the higher register. And my voice in the lower register is fine, but it wasn't
It doesn't have the
same.
panache.
It wasn't the
doesn't-
same.
And you don't have as much,
Got to
right?
put Vaseline on your throat, bro.
So I got discouraged.
Did you use the Vicks?
No.
True.
Gotta use the
I think
Vicks,
that is
bro.
a trick.
No.
That would make sense.
Yeah, I got discouraged. I quit choir my junior year.
Oh.
And then I was just devoted to theater.
To theater? So you were in like the
Productions, yeah.
Oh, you did. Were you? What plays were you in?
I was in the Pajama Game,
Okay.
which was a musical.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Did
I
you
was
sing?
I did. I had one of the more important roles.
You brought your choir experience back for you to
I
sing on
remember
stage?
some of my songs. even
Nice.
still.
Nice.
I was in Little Shop of Horrors.
What?
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Feed me,
yeah.
Feed me,
Seymour.
Seymour.
I was in a couple of one-act plays, and then I did a lot of tech work. Like I did lights and
Nice.
sound,
Lighting,
and stuff
sound.
Like that.
I was in theater as
Staging.
well, only for 3 years. Wasn't in varsity theater because I think that was like the next step. But I was just kind of over the theater kids, honestly.
You did freshman, sophomore, junior year?
Yeah, I think I dropped out middle of junior year. Like once the semester changed, I was like, I'm not picking theater back
Before
up.
the spring
These
production.
Kids, like the theater kids at my school were irritating. Like there were a couple cool ones, but I didn't have any classes with them, and it was too much. I was in one play, I think, because I auditioned for a couple of them, and I didn't get like the first 2 plays, and then I got Puck in a Midsummer Night's Dream.
Ooh, Midsummer Night's
That's a good
Dream.
role.
That's
yeah,
a good role.
that was a good role. And then
You
after
were
that, I was like,
satyr,
I'm out of
right?
here.
Hey.
Yeah. Just some fucking little short.
Yeah, you were the satyr.
Yeah.
That's
I don't
cool.
remember much about it, but
I always
I
regretted.
remember it was cool. I remember putting my own
This was
little
the
twist
90s,
on it.
so this is why I'm not all
This is-
excited to lace y'all up on this shit. But
This was 2007 for me. So
We did the dances, bro. My
Yeah.
mom has footage to bury me with.
what,
Like,
you in elementary school or something?
Yeah, we did the dance. Michael Jackson's. We were dressed up like fucking zombies. We
Nice.
did Pinocchio. I remember I was in one play. I was the ragamuffin.
How long were you?
My character's name was Ragamuffin, bro, and I was Dusty, Crusty, and Musty.
Dusty, crusty, and musty.
Like, my
Oh my
character
god.
was all of that.
I can't.
And so everyone's music teacher, there was 2 of them. Miss Hewitt, oh, she's so nice, sweet, just I just felt the hug from her right now from the memory. of her.
What grade is this?
This is from 1st through 6th.
First through sixth?
You had the
So,
same teacher?
Yeah, this dude's
Lucky.
name was Mr.
Damn.
Rolfe.
Had to-
There was 2 of them, and if you had one, you liked them.
Yeah.
Mr. Rolfe?
He was this badass African dude, and he used to look at you real hard and be like, "Look at my hands." This nigga's go-to line was, "Look at my hands, y'all," and it didn't make any sense because what he would do was direct you through the song by raising his hands up every so often.
That's
Oh,
that's
yeah.
that's what those conductors do, right?
Yeah.
Fucking kids, we don't know.
I know.
that
My
raising
band
your
teacher would do
hand
that too.
means
He'd do the whole
sing
fucking.
higher.
I'm like, what does this mean? What does this mean?
Yeah.
So when we're having fun, like you're talking about reading your book,
I think he does it on the sections that he wants to
They're-
go, right?
They're doing it to keep. So at the end of the day, they're doing it to keep tempo.
I realize, but I'm fucking
Correct.
10.
2, 3.
What Jordan
4.
is saying that what band directors do, and this is what they do, they'll still keep tempo in one hand and then
And they're
instruct whoever has the lead.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
In
I
their
get it
other
now.
hand.
Yeah.
So
I get it.
They're still keeping tempo up here, but then they're literally pointing out the notes that you're doing over here,
But
and
then-
then over here, I want you to bring this in, and then if it's everybody,
guys are legends.
They'll do one of these. So it's everybody. They'll do one of these, and then bring them up,
Like the
down,
Bugs Bunny thing.
in, and out.
But,
Yeah,
but there's different symbols though, because there's crescendos,
There's
which are
crescendos.
slightly, like
They'll raise it
raise
up.
your volume over time, and then there's decrescendos. They instructing you like
poco a
Bring
poco,
it,
where
bring it,
everything's
bring
like
it.
staccatos,
Yeah,
and then they'll
exactly.
sit there and just
Oh
pick
yeah,
at it.
I remember that.
So
Mhm.
so
I
we're
remember all
6,
that.
7, and 8. You know what I'm saying? And his go-to line is "Look at my hand," but he could play all of the instruments that we're supposed to be doing.
Of course,
So
that's a good.
he could play
conductor.
piano. He would play the song on piano at first, so you could hear it. And he'd be like, "This section, this section, this section." And keep in mind, he's got this African accent, and we're all having a blast with this because we're kids.
You're
Yeah.
just like
And
And
enjoying
the only
it.
time we would get serious was when he would be like, Marcus, look at me. Look at my hands. Like, and, so
Sorry, I didn't look at your hands.
outside of the music classes, I didn't realize I didn't like Mr. Rolfe as my teacher. Until one day on the playground, I heard some other kid yell, like, "Look at my hands." And I was like, who said that? I was like, "You got Mr. Rolfe?" He was like, "Yeah, but I got switched to Miss Hewitt." And I was like, "How?" He's like, "I told Miss Pat." I was like, "Miss Pat." Like my day would say, like I never had to look in my hands anymore.
That's funny.
That's
Like,
funny.
Miss Hewitt's class.
I had a science teacher. Her name was Miss Pierce, I think, and she had a fucking lazy eye. So when when you're supposed to be looking this person in the face,
I would fail.
bro, it's like one eye is at you, right? The other's just over there. Not even fucking.
I totally
imagine
fail at this in real
seeing
life
the
now.
entire white of this lady's eye, and then just barely you can see her fucking cornea, like, or iris or whatever it's fucking called.
Bro, I'm already dead right now on the scene with this person.
So you
'cause-
have to look at her.
But she was my second science teacher that year because we had switched halfway through the year. We had a different science teacher, and at the beginning of the year we had this. His name was Mr. Malik, I think. Just tall, bald, black guy. Just very skinny, very tall, very bald. Like bald, like shiny bald.
Nice.
And I remember one day, I'm fucking 14 or 15. I have a toothache because I have a cavity. And I'm just like on my desk like this. This motherfucker has. Oh yeah, he's a basketball coach too, and the science teacher.
Hell yeah.
Because in A-Leaf they double up a lot. You
Oh,
know?
they do that at
the
a lot of
history
schools.
teacher is
At a
the
lot of
football
schools.
coach. The goddamn. My Spanish teacher was a a baseball coach. Anyway,
I love when you can call your teacher coach.
we did. Our Spanish teacher,
Yeah.
Coach Mendoza.
Hey, coach. Let me
What?
go to the bathroom.
And then, bro, so this guy comes in. I have a toothache. My head's fucking down on the desk.
Funny story.
He's blowing a whistle, trying to get all the kids to chill the fuck out. I'm like, I have my head down, and he's blowing his whistle right above me. And he does this thing where he's like, he tweets it a couple times, and he does one long crescendo tweet, just like right above me. And I like in my head, I wanted to kill that man because this is 7th period, the end of the day. I've had a toothache since lunch. I need to get out of here. This is science class. Fucking Jesus, it was
So-
terrible. I wanted to kill that man.
When I was in school, we only had one coach at our school,
Jesus.
and he was the
sound like your
PE
dad telling you about-
teacher.
We only had one coach.
So he was badass. He was this
What school? What grade?
What
first
school?
through
What grade?
six.
What
Okay,
grade?
yeah,
What
we
school?
only had one PE teacher.
So
yeah.
like, his name was.
I guess that's true. We had two in 6th grade.
well,
Coaching him.
well, he went 1st through 6th. That was his elementary school.
Yeah, so
Like mine was 1 through 5.
'Cause-
Most people's are 1 through 5.
I went to 1 through 5. So in Wisconsin, middle school starts at grade 5 and goes to 8.
Oh shit.
Oh, I
5th,
did
6th,
not know
7th,
that.
8th, all one building.
Yeah. See, yours
fifth
was
and-
7th and 8th and 9th, and then you went.
Wait, no, middle school starts.
at 6.
Yeah, no, 5th grade. No, in Wisconsin it starts in 5th.
6.
Dude's
Here,
name was.
because we have intermediate school here. You have 5th and 6th before 7th and 8th. Then you have 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th.
I just went to 1 through 5 at elementary, and then
Where did
6,
you go to
7,
school
8.
though? Houston?
South Houston.
I don't
in
know.
the Pasadena
They might have
Independent School
changed it in the
District.
past 20 years because
No, you're right. Everywhere is
There's
kind of
intermediate
different.
schools.
Everywhere, like in San Antonio, is different, and they call it intermediate school, but it's really middle school. But then a lot of them have ninth grade incorporated with it because you would be at the freshman campus on the middle school.
so we have a ninth grade center.
Clearly, I bored y'all with the story, so I'm gonna crank it up.
Well, you didn't even
I
continue.
didn't mean to.
I kind of interrupted
I didn't
him.
give y'all enough details.
You said 1 through 6, and
Back
I was
when
like,
I was in school, they could still whoop your ass. So this is where we
Same.
at. The
Yes.
coach
We're all
was the
in-
guy who everybody got their ass whooped by at our school.
Mine too.
We had this
I don't
red
remember the person.
corporate punishment was happening to children. They were making us pray. They were making us pledge allegiance to our state.
It was
and they
beautiful.
Was whooping our ass if we didn't.
It was so
You had
great.
to pray.
This is real. I'm telling.
I never had to pray. I had to pledge
We
allegiance,
had to
and
pray.
I got my ass whooped at school.
We had to say the
But I never-
Texas flag.
Is that praying?
the pledge
Nigga.
allegiance to the United States? No.
That's
And then we
pledging.
did the Lord's Prayer.
We did that.
I've
Bro,
never done the
I
Lord's
went to
Prayer
a
in school. I
Catholic
think they took
school.
that away in the early
They literally
2000s.
made
Yeah.
us get on our knees and
Oh, you had to get on
I'm
your
talking,
knees?
bro. We used to say
You went
Hail
to a
fucking
Catholic school.
Mary.
Oh,
Like-
well, of course. Then you went to
Are
a
you sure you
Catholic
didn't go to
school.
Catholic school?
He just said that.
I'm s-
It's still standing.
Hey, did they make you do the 19
hate
Creed
you.
too?
I don't remember.
I
that.
believe in one God, the Father, the
Did
Almighty.
you get taught by
creator of-
nuns?
Yes, yes.
They're the
Rulers
meanest,
and
aren't they?
everything.
Why are you so outrageous then?
I don't know what
Because
you're talking about.
no, hey,
Nuns
hey,
don't work, I know, because
No,
Laurel
no.
went to Catholic school, right?
I don't know. Did she?
Or some
No,
type of-
she went to boarding school. That was different. That was military like school.
So this coach used to beat everybody's ass, right?
And yeah,
I was raised.
I didn't know
Catholic.
there's more to the story. I'm sorry.
it's not y'all's fault. The only reason that I remembered this guy is because most people would be afraid of him, and I got my ass whooped plenty at the school, y'all. Like my mom was like,
What-
"Whoop his ass."
What was this coach? Was he like a Monsignor, or was he like a priest, or was he like involved in
He
like
wa-
the?
like,
Coach was a priest.
He was the
That'd be
most
funny.
not Catholic guy at the school.
Did he
Like,
dress like clergy?
He would. No,
Was he the
bro, He
groundskeeper?
would have like sweats on all the time. He would
He was
either
the
have
coach.
sweats on or a jumpsuit and a muscle shirt.
That'd be
every
funny if
day,
he had the
all
sweats
day.
on and then like the priest collar.
He was this
Like
bald
a sweats
dude,
version of a priest
and he was
outfit.
hardcore, bro. And the only reason,
Y'all had a football team?
no, we had a basketball team.
Oh, basketball team. So there's a reason why you had to have the coach.
So his
to coach a
daughter
team.
was Heather Martell, and she just so
Martell.
happened to be the prettiest girl in my class.
Oh God damn it!
And this is why I got stuck on Harry Potter, y'all. She was reading Harry Potter. I had to read Harry Potter so we could have something to talk about. Duh. Come on. It's clear. So she runs track, I run track. And every time I would fuck up, the consequences were always her dad. So it got to the point where he whooped my ass so much, he was like, this guy's like part of the family. You could like date my daughter. You know what I'm saying?
That's fucking hilarious.
Like I was accepted by the coach. I was like, what's up, coach? Like,
I know I've been disciplining you the right way, so you can date my daughter now.
You know, I mean business.
You know what I mean.
That is probably actually your best bet. Maybe that's like the only way to get through.
My coaches at my school navigated the situation, right? So my school is in like, it was huge. It's like 24/5A intermediate school. So our football teams, you have, 8th grade A team, B team, 7th grade A team, B team, and then 6th grade you had the training squad team.
yeah.
And it was always Coach.
Basically JV.
Yeah, basically JV. And Coach Descaro and Coach Mora. We called Coach Descaro is literally how his fucking name sounded. He was this old fucking withered up
Scarrow?
white dude. Yeah, we called him Coach Scarecrow.
Yeah.
Right?
Scarrow.
His name was Descaro. And even if that doesn't sound fucking funny enough, we just called him Coach Scarecrow. And he would always yell at you and make no sense. And he would always have like half a fucking cigar. We're on school campus. He would have like a chewed up cigar in his mouth and be yelling, "God damn it, motherfucker! Get out there and run me!" And he would just be screaming at us at all times, right? Coach Mora was a guy, and he was like in his late 40s, early 50s. He was a big dude. He looked like he could be a wrestler. But he had this stupid fucking haircut. That, like, where his hair, like, he was straight brown, but just went right down like this, and then kind of like cut off like there. It was like he looked like an idiot. But he was like,
bangs?
yeah. If he pulled the, like, they were bangs, but he like pulled them around the side of his
Oh,
head.
I know the kind of haircut you're talking about.
Jesus.
Old dad haircut, right? Like it just like,
I was a hippie. I was a kid like you, haircut.
Yeah, so he was coaching like the basketball team or whatever, but he was the most cognitive coach out there. He would also do the actual PE classes and stuff. Coach the Scarecrow. He would only be like football, basketball, whatever. If you had to fuck with him, you didn't want to fuck with him. But Coach Morrow would be like the one who navigated all the shit, right? And so there'd be plenty of fights that would break out. And Coach Morrow would literally like fucking separate you apart. And if you had pads on, take off your pads. Okay? Punch for punch. Go. Loser goes to the office.
Jesus.
Bro, going to the office was always
Wait,
a
so you
bad
get to swing,
day
I
at
swing, you
school.
swing,
You
I
swing, he swings, and then it eventually will be like, you know how it is. You swing, I swing, and then you're like, swing, and then it's like, ah! Everybody like starts hitting each other. And you're like, hey, yeah, back up. You lose, go to the office.
What the hell?
Get your shit together, go on the fucking field.
Public school was a total wake up for me. You know, even 6th grade, I remember that first fight and how going to the office wasn't even really the option. You know what I mean? It was like
that's the worst thing
your
could
teacher
happen to you.
decided your fate, and it was ultimately they gonna call you mama.
Damn it.
I didn't know the tricks. Keep in mind, this isn't my first fight, but I already knew they were gonna call my mom. I didn't know there was a way around them calling your mom, and this kid had one. He lost the fight, so I'm the bad guy. I started it, and he was bleeding. We had to go to the nurse. All of that did not help in my favor, and my mom picked up. This little motherfucker, he's laughing because my mom's on speaker going off. If I gotta come down there, I'm gonna whoop your ass.
Yeah, of course.
When whoever coming to pick you up gonna whoop your ass. So everyone knows I'm getting the ass whooping. And he goes, yeah, my mama work from home, but the phone off.
That's fucking
That
hilarious.
was his excuse.
Genius.
It was all of it was perfectly acceptable and believable. They didn't even dial the number. We just went back to class, and he told everybody I was gonna get an ass whooping.
That's even better than.
They didn't even dial the number.
That's fun. Yeah, because I never got. You know
I'll
when
never
you'd
forget that.
You know when you'd stay home from school and they would call. We call that the can call.
Mm-hmm.
They'd call your house to be like, yo, so and so didn't show up. They wait until like 3rd period or something to call. My family would never answer because, they're just degenerates. They're probably asleep still. The phone's off, or
You say they're degenerates?
they're degenerates. Like when I was growing up, I'm not talking about my mom currently. I'm talking about the people I was being raised by when I was in school. I didn't go to school sometimes because I didn't feel like it. Just because I know that, first of all, at some point, my dad and his girlfriend wouldn't even wake up till after I was supposed to be home from school anyway.
Why go?
So I didn't go, and they would
I
just
would've been
ask
like
me
that.
how the day was, and I'd be like, yeah, it was great.
I got homework to do. Leave me alone.
Because 5th grade, because when I moved, because that brings back to my story about the middle school and elementary school. Because I went through elementary school here, like I was in 4th grade, and then I finished 4th grade, and my dad was like, hey, I got a job, and I got a girlfriend, she's pregnant now, you're gonna come live in Wisconsin with me. So, when I got there, it's like, all right, you're in middle school now, because middle school starts in 5th grade here.
Time to grow up.
Because now I'm in a school with 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th graders, and I am 10 years old.
Ooh, and it's fucking balling in that motherfucker, probably. Like,
There's a
there's
lot of
shit going
whites. A lot of
15s
whites.
and 16-year-olds.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
but I actually really did enjoy going to school there. I feel like they had if you watch school like on TV, it felt like that.
Oh, shit. I watched school on TV, and I was
Like Degrassi?
It would have had
Kinda.
to for you, and that's so
Because
cool.
the town was so small. It was 8,000 people in this town. Everyone knew each other. There was only one fucking school. There was an elementary. There was like a young like pre-K or whatever. Then there was elementary, which I assume was connected to the same building.
Probably.
And then they had the middle school, and then they had the high school. And there was one high school, one of each. And I don't know if they even had a college.
Must
I don't
have been
think
beautiful.
they did. We had to drive 30 minutes
Great,
just to
right?
go to Walmart. There was no Walmart. The biggest thing, they had a hometown grocery store
My high
and like a Piggly Wiggly
A Piggly
20
Wiggly?
minutes away.
No, they didn't
They had
have a Piggly
Piggly
Yeah,
Wiggly.
Piggly Wiggly is a northern
Yeah,
store.
I love that store.
We
Yeah.
had a Family Dollar
Like Ralph's.
and like an Ace Hardware. We had it was
Like
it was-
Ralph's is a northern
Do y'all know
store.
what y'all need for just to settle? Like what you would need right now to be like, I could live like that. Out in the middle of nowhere type stuff.
I could live there now. Honestly, it's a pretty nice
Yeah.
place.
My high school
The
had...
houses are cheap. You can get a house for like 40 grand there.
Yeah, because nobody else wants to live.
It's a great place to live.
I bet
think.
it is. That's the point. Because nobody else wants to. Because everybody's like, I want to live out there. It's the best place to
nice.
live.
It is really nice.
You got shit to yourself.
You have seasons. Oh,
Distance
it's fucking
between
great.
you and other fucking...
I mean, it's not
stupid
really.
people.
It's not like Bumblefuck nowhere. There's neighborhoods and
But there, you know who's in your neighborhood, though.
for the most part, right? And
I'd be cool with that.
I made friends in the neighborhood. Had some good homies.
My high school, my freshman year, had 1,600 students.
Freshmen, I had
Just
a guy-
the freshman class.
I think we had like 1,000.
Yeah, 1,600. You want to know how many graduated?
1,600, 600.
Yeah, right around there. It was like 556 kids.
Bro,
That's
there-
crazy.
There were like 8,000 kids that went to my high school.
Total, though.
Oh,
That's four-
total. No,
four
no.
grade. He's talking about freshman
just
class.
freshman class. Like each class, like the sophomore year, my freshman year above me had like
But
2,200. and
How many
it was
high
like-
schools were in your area, though, of your district?
My district had 5 high schools.
Oh, okay.
4 at the time, and then they built one.
All right. Because I was saying, like, we had like 4 different high schools, with like 4K kids in each fucking school.
You went to a 5A school?
Yeah, I was
Okay.
I was at a 24-5A school,
Yeah.
right? The high school now, because of the growth and the district growth, it's called a 26-5A school.
Because
now.
now they consider all the championships your teams have won collectively.
Is that what it is? Is that how they keep
What's a
raising the
5A?
number? It has to do with the population of your school.
Yeah.
How many is
For like
5A?
main cities? Because keep in mind,
The bottom line is 5,000.
like why we keep feeding colleges is because they're centralized, right across
They
the
need to
country.
know that they need to know the number grade
Yeah.
of your championships or titles. Okay, that makes total sense. That does make total sense. So there are still 24-5A schools out there. They just don't. All right, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, and there's 5A and there's 6A too. I'm pretty sure a 7th A as well, depending on
Where?
Nah,
Where?
Like,
what fucking...
It all has to do with population. Like, imagine like
Maybe New York?
over. Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe
but that's what I'm saying. Just
the
bigger
densely
cities than
populated
us.
areas,
Yeah,
like
just
I
inner
mean,
inner
isn't
city.
Houston like the 4th largest city in
I know.
America?
We have
Correct,
so many
so-
different districts with so many different high schools in them, right?
There might be them in HISD alone. I haven't done the I only
Oh, HISD.
because like
What is
it's-
Hastings? What would that kind of-
HISD.
It's AISD.
Oh, it's A-Leaf.
Yeah, Hastings is A-Leaf. I was asking what kind of school would that
Oh,
be?
I'm sure it's 5A school.
I don't know if we had 5,000. But so we had like 1,000 kids or like 1,100 when we started, but by the time the 9th grade got to 12th grade, we only had like 800 students left.
See, but that's
Because
not
people kept dropping out.
Yeah, that's not that bad. Like we lost
I don't think it was people
1,000
dropping
kids.
out.
It is people
as
dropping out.
much as
moving.
No,
Oh, maybe moving, yeah.
By the time, what year did y'all graduate?
2013, bro.
Okay,
Y'all are 5
what
years
was the
older
thing
than
they
me.
implemented when we were leaving tax and No Child Left Behind? They just kept y'all. They kept those people over the summer.
Yeah.
and passed them out.
Not,
We
You know,
had
not
tax for
necessarily.
like 2 years.
We had tax.
Yeah.
They
but,
did No Child Left
we
Behind,
started
like,
I know what I'm
almost
saying. I've had
immediately.
tax since I've been taking those standardized tests.
Yeah, so we started at TOS.
Yeah, I was
we,
at
we
TOS.
were doing TOS and stuff.
I was
so
the
they
last
were
year of TOS.
developing ways to curve those numbers already. Did they not do
they
that?
have the
or-
minimum. They have the minimum requirement. So it's like was it like 26 credits to graduate?
Yeah.
But they also have this thing where you can graduate off 22
Yeah.
if you meet the minimum requirements.
What you're talking about
of high school, I think.
is keeping the child registered at the school through the summer so that school can get the tax benefits based on those tests that were taken.
They
and
have
then
to
they-
go to summer school and make up the credit. That's what
And
it
then
is.
they okay, imagine this, bro. Imagine that. Yes, your number. It's like knowing that your vote counts but it really doesn't count because the electoral college. It's like you went to school. It really didn't matter if you passed or failed because you did the summer class.
No,
and then you didn't graduate on stage with your friends. But come next July, you're
if
done.
you didn't pass the standardized test, he's actually right. If you didn't pass the standardized test, you didn't graduate.
Yeah.
That would
I
be
actually graduated a semester late.
No, they still hold you behind. They still hold you back.
They'll hold you behind.
They hold you back.
People.
They give you night school. You ever heard of night school?
Oh yeah, no.
And DJ had fucking 2 years of night school.
But that's exactly my point.
He had summer
he still
school and night
finished
school.
It just didn't go to the number
You could pass
of
all
overall
of your
graduates.
classes and fail the standardized test and still not graduate. Is what he's saying. You can ace all of your classes.
Yeah, but
if you fail
honestly,
the
if you're
state-
passing your classes, you're not gonna fucking fail tax.
It's like you could skip the test, or I don't know.
I
Maybe.
passed my.
They still let you retest it. They're a retest.
I passed my last standardized test.
Uh-huh.
But they don't make you take a standardized test your senior year.
Correct. Because you're supposed to have
No,
already,
you don't. You don't
You're supposed to have
take it.
already
Junior
passed
year
it.
is the last year.
So when it got to my senior year, I was never at school. Like, I had 2 periods where I had like off campus and co-op. Don't have to be
Senior year?
That was every day. I had 2 classes and then off camp or co-op off campus.
Really?
So you're
Yeah.
working.
That's a nice.
It was so like basically I had half days every day my senior year.
I took
but
co-op my second
it got to a point where I would oversleep. My mom had actually moved out my last year of high school. She was living with her boyfriend. So I had the entire house to myself. I was doing whatever I wanted. And I was sleeping more than I should have been sleeping. And then when I'd wake up, I'd get to school just in enough time for my friend to be leaving for the day. I'd catch up with my friend and we would drive around and smoke for the rest of the day. We would be chilling. Like, so that I ended up having to take summer school. And I did the same shit during the summer.
This is why they do that shit, because if we're back in the old ways of if you fucking fail these classes, you're gonna fail high school and you don't get another chance again. Go get a GED, you son of a bitch.
Yeah.
There would be fucking millions of kids out there with GEDs and not high school diplomas.
Absolutely.
Even though there's already millions of people out there with GEDs, there would be substantially more, because your average American is not very motivated for this free education.
No.
That is very true.
Yeah.
I noticed it going to the school. You're like, half these fucking kids, you're like, can you shut the fuck up so they can maybe they can finish the lesson early and we can have some time to chill, you fucking idiot. Shut the fuck up.
You know, I think what a big part of the issue is, I don't know if you guys notice, but like once it gets to like 9th, 10th grade, everything starts seeming incredibly repetitive. Like every year, they're teaching you the same shit.
At least
with,
for the
like,
first
a little
couple.
bit extra.
You know,
that's
because of the standardized test. That's because of the
want you to
standardized
pass.
testing.
All right.
I feel
Because
like
they
How much
want you to pass it because that grade counts for more money for them.
So how much motivation can you have?
School doesn't get
when
funding if
they're
you don't pass the
when
test.
they're teaching you the same thing every time,
I totally
and then you're just like, well, I don't want to fucking do
That's
that
where
anymore.
good
Like,
teachers come in.
Exactly.
I've had good teachers.
You're absolutely right. My 11th grade year, I had this teacher. Her name was Mrs. Bayer-Kohler.
Sounds badass
Miss
already.
Bayer-Kohler
Kohler.
was so dope. She was my English teacher. She introduced this thing called Flocabulary.
Oh, say what?
And it was like this rap group.
Okay.
And with this rap group, they would like say the word, like a big word, and then they would like follow it up immediately with its definition.
So it's like a thesaurus almost.
Yeah. And then like she would be like, "All right, so you got to listen to this rap, guys, and then our vocab test is going to be off the rap test."
Bad.
And like that shit was so fun for me.
That's
like,
smart,
That
actually.
shit was so fun.
That's smart teaching.
I remember the only teacher I can think of that's the teacher that's like making a fucking difference in kids' life. My 6th grade teacher when I lived in Wisconsin, her name was Miss Beastman. And she was just like a plump, fucking curly headed, glasses, big bifocal, nice lady. And she would teach us all kinds of crazy things. She would, so every week she would get a different like MRE. And she would be like, "This is what the
Badass.
soldiers," because we were still at war at the time.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, "This is what the soldiers eat," and then it's like, "Oh, that's fucking disgusting," or "That's kind of actually good," you know. And
There were some good MREs, man.
She brought us wasabi peas the first time I ever tried that. I'm like 11 years old.
We talked about
Yeah,
that. Yeah,
I remember we've talked about this on the podcast before.
No. We didn't talk about. I didn't know if we talked about it on the
maybe.
podcast.
Who
You
knows?
and I have talked about this.
But she fucking, like, on holidays we would decorate the classroom, like, fucking we made peppermint bark. She put on Polar Express and made hot chocolate, and we're all doing all this in the fucking classroom. She brought in like some cops. She brought these people in one time to fucking teach us etiquette, and we set tables and had all the different forks, and you know she taught us how, like, in fine dining, how you're supposed to behave.
World history.
It was
teacher?
she was my history teacher. Yes,
Like world history. Yeah,
she was my
that's awesome.
homeroom, my history, and my English teacher.
That is technically
All in one.
history.
That is.
She was legendary. She let us try like lutefisk, which is disgusting.
Yeah.
Fucking disgusting.
It doesn't
But I
even
remember.
sound
I'll
good.
always remember her. And if I ever go back to that town, I might go back to the school, see if she's still there.
That sounds like a lot like my favorite history. Like all of my history teachers from middle school on were my influence to influence my love of history because they were all great. Your teacher sounds like my sophomore year, my world history AP teacher. He was brilliant. He did exactly that stuff.
Shit kids would love.
Yeah. And then he brought in like classical era. Like we went to a fucking opera because we were in classical era. So we saw fucking what was it?
What opera?
It was Mozart, Queen of the Night.
Oh,
It was
cool.
yeah, and it was so cool. We would do the wasabi peas. We did all that shit. I was like, oh, that's really fucking cool. The teacher that actually got me out of regular history was my Texas history teacher, my 7th grade year, and we were supposed to do write a story about a Civil War character. So, and then we had to give the presentation in front of the class, and she would always yell at me every day because I wasn't paying attention because I already knew all this history because I love that era. I love wartime. I like finding out things. I love the fact that, I loved Abraham Lincoln. I actually wrote a report to get into the class on Abraham Lincoln as a lawyer versus him as a president and how he bridges the gap between, and I did this in fucking 7th grade, and how he was my hero, Abraham Lincoln. And so I get placed in this AP 7th U.S. history class, and all my other classes I was failing in due to the fact that I was just an asshole in the class. Like I was in math, everything. And she was the one who took the time to sit me down and like talk to me and get to know who I was. And she was like, she recommended to the principal that I get put into the advanced science class and the advanced math class. And she was a really nice lady. But her breaking point with me in the class was that Civil War story that I wrote.
I remember you talking about that.
So I wrote this story, and she didn't read it before because I was an advanced student in her class, right? All the other stories she read. And I was going to give it up and talk in front of the class. So I start out the story. I can't remember the words, like how I started out, but basically I was a slave owner, and my name was Billy Bader.
You wrote it as a slave owner.
As in the slave owner, but I wrote it the fact that I I lived in Missouri, so I had hired on all of my servants, but I still required them to call me master because my name is Billy Bader. So, and then the first dialogue, it was like, Master Bader, what am I supposed to do? And I immediately got cut off and sent to the fucking principal's office. And I had to had my mom fucking call. My fucking mom was called. My fucking dad was called too. Like, he was called at work. My mom was called at home.
So, Mark, what about your best teacher?
My best teacher?
Come on, Master Bader, that's fun.
She was this super mean old black lady named Miss Martha.
This is your favorite teacher?
Your favorite teacher?
Swear to God. She was the
Mean
meanest.
old
She
lady.
had this... She'd perfected this stank eye,
Oh.
as you will. she would mumble things.
My stink eye.
She was old enough to be able to mumble things, so you wouldn't necessarily know if she was like hexing you or cursing you, but she had to look and like she always had you wondering like, dang, like she kind of just threw you off guard before she even said anything,
because she hits you in the eyeball,
and everything she said made you have to come correct, and she was the English teacher. You know what I'm saying? Like everything about her was come correct. And her name was Miss Martha. And if she would get up and lead the class, she was the type of person, like, she would give you the look, and right before she mumbled, she would say, if anybody, you know, it was like, I dare you to. And she turned out to be, I'm a great speller. I feel like it's because of her, all because of her.
You're a great speller?
She's just serious.
She's your English teacher?
Mm-hmm.
I had an English teacher named Miss Okungbawa.
Japanese?
No. African.
Oh.
Okungbawa.
Oh, I thought you said Okibawa.
No, not Okungbawa. Okungbawa. She was funny. Anyway, not really a very, not a story-worthy teacher. I just thought her name was entertaining.
And I'm so old.
We
in
need
high
to end
school.
the episode, Michael.
All right. Well,
I meant to say we need to segue into, you know.
Do we need to RIP anybody?
I don't think anyone's died recently.
Bunch of people have died.
Who?
Bunch of people have died this year. I'm just saying.
Oh, we're doing the memoriam for.
Oh, it is, I guess. But this is technically the. Oh yeah, we're not doing the New Year's podcast. Is not going to be on.
R.I.P.
on
Pops from Friday. R.I.P.
I think
Tiny
we said
from
all
Friday.
these. Yes, R.M.P. Yeah, who?
RNP.
Tiny. You know, Debo.
Oh yeah, he died.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, we gotta remember
don't know
these
him.
people.
Eddie Van Halen died.
You know how many other?
R.I.P.
He died this year.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know who. I don't know.
Stan Lee died last year, right?
Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
R.I.P. to everyone. I don't know
I
though.
think who died.
Who died?
Mandalorian spoiler. R.I.P. to. Nah, I'm joking.
R.I.P. Baby Yoda.
Did you hear about that thing? The whole Star Wars theory guy battling.
Yes, bro, because he was so emotionally overwhelmed at the episode that he was crying on his reaction.
He recorded his whole reaction,
which
for
he
the
always
whole
does.
episode, which he always does.
And I figured, I actually knew he would cry because I watch his channel a lot and I know how passionate he is about Star Wars.
His reaction was my reaction.
Basically,
actually.
yeah. I don't think I cried as hard as he did, but I definitely did cry a little bit.
I cried all throughout the fucking Luke scene. I'm not a fuck like.
Shut up.
God
But anyway,
damn it, dude.
one of the Lucasfilm execs said feelings shouldn't be shared or whatever,
Yeah.
or something like that, and shooting him down or whatever,
It's gonna
talking
be
shit
at
about
least
him.
And then he deleted his post.
Yeah, they were saying imagine crying about yada yada or whatever, and then putting. He's like, it's okay to cry about something, but don't share it or regurgitate it to your followers or whatever. People were talking shit about.
Then he
him.
posted was about it, and then somebody was like, yeah, because the Last Jedi, he cried during the crate scene of the Last Jedi,
Yeah,
and then was like,
this is Luke. He loves Luke.
yeah, this is about it, and then Richard Hidalgo had posted again, and then deleted his tweet, and then posted that guy's tweet as his header.
I saw that
on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what pissed Star Wars theory dude off, because he was like, "How you
Yo,
gonna-"
what the fuck?
He's like, "What the fuck did you? I got 2.7 million fucking viewers. You don't think I can see your hidden tweet?"
That's fucking hilarious.
I mean, at
Don't
the
be mean
end
to
of the
fans.
day,
At the end-
cyberbullying is bad.
Yeah, but who? What? Not CEO. He is an executive of Lucasfilms, tweeting, talking shit about a fan of Star Wars.
His own product. I don't agree.
I don't
with
even
that.
know who that guy is.
Richard.
Oh, he
Hidalgo?
worked on he worked on a lot of the
He does
animated stuff, right?
Yeah, and then he does executive producing for other. He did a Quentin Tarantino movie, I think, or helped produce it.
Speaking of products, try Mangrate.
Oh,
It's
no.
made of 100% cast iron.
We're cutting it there.